Today we're exposing the 15 most dangerous favors and how to spot them before they own you. 1. The cult leader's gradual enslavement. A charismatic leader begins by offering free meals, shelter, or emotional support to vulnerable individuals. These small acts of kindness create a sense of indebtedness. Once loyalty is secured, the demands escalate. Donations, isolation from family, and eventually complete obedience. The initial favors were never altruistic, they were hooks. Jim Jones, leader of the People's Temple, famously used this tactic. He began by helping the poor, offering food and community. Over time, his followers were pressured into giving up their possessions, cutting ties with outsiders, and ultimately following him to their deaths in Jonestown. The easiest way to gain control of a population is to carry out acts of kindness, ones so small they seem harmless. By Philip Zimbardo, Stanford Prison Experiment. 2. The corporate mentor who owns you. A senior executive takes a young employee under their wing, offering advice, networking opportunities, and small career boosts. Once the employee feels indebted, the mentor begins making unethical requests, covering up mistakes, sabotaging rivals, or even engaging in corporate espionage. Refusal means career suicide. In the Enron scandal, many mid-level employees were groomed through small favors, bonuses, promotions, insider tips. Once complicit in minor fraud, they were trapped in larger schemes, unable to escape without facing legal ruin. First, you give them a finger, then they take the whole hand. By Sun Tzu, The Art of War. 3. The romantic partner who isolates you. A manipulative partner starts with small gestures, surprise gifts, emotional support, constant attention. Soon they demand exclusivity, discourage friendships, and frame their concern as love. The victim, grateful for initial kindness, tolerates increasing control. Ted Bundy used this exact method. He would approach women with charm, helping carry books, offering rides. His small favors disarmed them, making it easier to lure them into danger. The best way to destroy someone is to make them believe they owe you. By Friedrich Nietzsche. 4. The political puppeteer. A politician provides minor community benefits, fixing roads, funding local events, to gain public goodwill. Once trusted, they push for blind loyalty, suppressing dissent and demanding unquestioning support for corrupt policies. Adolf Hitler's rise began with small populist gestures, charity events, nationalist rhetoric. These seemingly benign actions normalized his ideology, paving the way for totalitarian control. Absolute power does not corrupt immediately. It does so in small, imperceptible increments. By Alexander Solzhenitsyn. 5. The friendly loan shark. A lender offers a small, no-strings-attached loan to someone in need. Once the debtor is unable to repay, the terms shift: exorbitant interest, threats, and eventual enslavement through perpetual debt. Organized crime syndicates, like the Yakuza or Mafia, have used this for centuries. A favor today becomes a lifetime of servitude tomorrow. Beware of small expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. By Benjamin Franklin. 6. The helpful neighbor who spies. A friendly neighbor offers to collect your mail while you're away, water your plants, or watch your house. Over time, they use this access to gather information, copying keys, noting routines, or even planting surveillance devices. Their kindness was a cover for stalking or theft. In multiple home invasion cases, criminals first posed as helpful neighbors. Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, studied his victims for years, sometimes even engaging in small talk to lower their guard before striking. Trust is the easiest thing to exploit because it is given, not taken. By Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. 7. The therapist who creates dependency. A therapist offers extra sessions, flexible payments, or special emotional support beyond professional boundaries. The patient becomes emotionally dependent, making them vulnerable to manipulation, financial exploitation, gaslighting, or even sexual abuse under the guise of treatment. Dr. William Ayres, a respected child psychiatrist, used his position to molest young patients under the pretense of medical examinations. His authority and initial kindness made victims doubt their own instincts. The more you make someone rely on you, the more power you have over them. By Niccolo Machiavelli. 8. The boss who protects you. A manager shields an employee from criticism, gives them preferential treatment, or covers minor mistakes. Now indebted, the employee is pressured into unethical tasks, lying for the boss, sabotaging co-workers, or working unpaid overtime. Resisting risks losing their protector. Harvey Weinstein famously used this tactic, helping young actresses land roles, then demanding sexual favors in return. Those who refused were blacklisted. When you give a man power, you reveal his true character. By Lord Acton. 9. The generous friend who sabotages you. A friend constantly does favors, gifts, rides, emotional support without being asked. They later use these debts to guilt-trip you into compliance, spread rumors if you resist, or isolate you from others by framing themselves as your only true ally. In The Talented Mr. Ripley, Tom Ripley ingratiates himself with Dickie Greenleaf through small acts of loyalty, only to eventually steal his identity and murder him. Beware the friend who keeps count of their favors. By Balthazar Gracian. 10. The government that provides freedom. A regime offers free housing, healthcare, or education, seemingly benevolent acts. Citizens slowly surrender freedoms in exchange for security. Criticism is framed as ingratitude, and dissent is crushed under the guise of maintaining order. Vladimir Putin's Russia initially stabilized the economy, gaining public trust. Now opposition leaders mysteriously die, and protests are labeled as foreign sabotage. The road to tyranny is paved with good intentions. By C.S. Lewis. 11. The benevolent narcissistic parent. A parent showers their child with gifts, praise, and special treatment, but only when the child obeys or performs well. The child becomes conditioned to seek approval, making them vulnerable to emotional abuse, guilt-tripping, and eventual psychological domination. The favors were never unconditional. They were tools of control. In the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, her mother Dee Dee manipulated doctors, charities, and even her own daughter by portraying Gypsy as terminally ill. The care she provided was actually a prison of lies, all for sympathy, money, and power. The narcissist doesn't love you, they love the way you make them feel. By Sam Vaknin. 12. The cult recruiter's friendship. A recruiter for a high-control group approaches a lonely or vulnerable person, offering companionship, free meals, or spiritual guidance. Once trust is built, the recruit is slowly indoctrinated, isolated from family, drained financially, and brainwashed into absolute loyalty. Keith Raniere, leader of the NXIVM cult, used self-help workshops to lure in followers. Initial free seminars escalated into forced branding, sex trafficking, and blackmail. The best slaves are those who believe they are free. By Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. 13. The philanthropist who owns politicians. A billionaire donates to charities, funds scholarships, or sponsors community projects, gaining public admiration. Behind the scenes, they leverage this goodwill to influence legislation, avoid taxes, or secure monopolies. Their generosity is just a smokescreen for corruption. Jeffrey Epstein's donations to elite universities, MIT, Harvard, and scientists brought him credibility, which he used to shield his crimes and manipulate powerful figures. Money is power, and absolute money is absolute power. By Andrew Carnegie. 14. The protective gang leader. A gang offers protection to local businesses, ensuring no rival gangs harass them. Soon the business owner is forced to pay tributes, launder money, or even become a drug front. Refusal means violence. Al Capone's Chicago outfit operated this way. Small businesses either paid up or burned down. Every empire begins with a favor and ends with a threat. By Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. 15. The supportive online predator. A stranger on social media offers emotional support to a vulnerable teen, listening, giving advice, becoming a trusted friend. Once dependence is established, the predator escalates, asking for explicit photos, manipulating them into secrecy, or even luring them into real-world danger. Countless child exploitation cases begin this way. The FBI estimates 500,000 online predators are active daily, many using kindness as bait. Evil preys most easily on the lonely, the lost, and the naive, by John Douglas, FBI profiler. Final lesson, spot and resist. 1. Question overly generous people. Why are they really helping? 2. Set boundaries early. Favors should never come with invisible strings. 3. Watch for escalation. If demands grow, it's a red flag. 4. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. 5. Delay gratitude. Ask, why is this person really helping me? 6. Test boundaries. Say no to a small request early to see their reaction. 7. Watch for love bombing. Excessive flattery or gifts are often manipulation. 8. Verify motives. Research their past. Predators leave patterns. So, where have you seen this in real life? A boss who helped you, then owned you. A partner who supported you until you couldn't leave. The scariest part? These traps work because they feel good at first. That's why the best defense is recognizing the pattern before the hook sets. Now that you know, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Drop a comment below. What's the most unsettling favor someone's done for you that later turned toxic? And if this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe. We break down manipulation tactics, dark psychology, and how to protect yourself every week. Stay sharp, because the most dangerous predators don't lurk in shadows. They smile and offer a hand and wait for you to trust them.